Welcome to Manila Updates TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Dateline: Pag-asa Island, February 12, 2026. The air is thick with salt and tension as a Philippine Coast Guard vessel patrols near the island. On the horizon, Chinese maritime militia ships linger, a constant, silent presence. This is daily life for the small community on Pag-asa, the Philippines' largest outpost in the disputed Spratly Islands. News in Manila reports another swarming hundreds of Chinese vessels near the island, a creeping assertion of control. Every fishing boat, every patrol, every radio call is a move in a much larger geopolitical game. The South China Sea is more than water. It's a vital artery for global trade and a source of livelihood for millions. But it's also one of Asia's most dangerous potential conflict zones. The Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan all have claims that overlap with China's sweeping 9-dash line. On Pag-asa, these disputes are personal. Residents, civilians and military, live under constant pressure, their presence a statement of sovereignty. Diplomatic protests are filed, statements issued, but the gray ships remain. This is a war of presence, attrition, and nerves, not missiles, at least not yet. The story of Pag-asa is the story of the South China Sea, history, law, ambition, and national pride. It's about a small nation standing firm against a rising superpower. The international community, especially the United States, voices support for freedom of navigation and a rules-based order. But on the water, it's the Philippine flag over Pag-asa that stands as the most tangible symbol of resistance. The question remains, how long can this fragile peace hold? For now, the standoff continues, each day a test of resolve. The world watches, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes game. On Pag-asa, hope and tension are inseparable. Pag-asa Island, a small speck in a vast ocean, carries the weight of a nation's aspirations. Located about 480 kilometers west of Palawan, it sits beyond the Philippines' main exclusive economic zone. This distance complicates legal arguments and makes resupplying and defending Pag-asa a major challenge. The Philippines argues Pag-asa, as a habitable island, is entitled to its own territorial sea and possibly its own EEZ. China, however, claims indisputable sovereignty, dismissing Manila's logic. The island's civilian community is unique among claimants, with a town hall, school, and health clinic. This presence is meant to show Pag-asa is a genuine part of the Philippines, not just a military outpost. Its isolation forces the Philippines to rely on historical discovery and effective occupation. China seeks to exploit this vulnerability, surrounding the island with militia and Coast Guard vessels. Life on Pag-asa is a daily struggle, but its residents remain a testament to the stakes involved. The island's name, Hope, remains both a promise and a challenge. Here, sovereignty is lived, not just claimed. Pag-asa is the administrative center of the Kalayaan Island Group, or Hague. In 1978, the Philippines formalized its claim through Presidential Decree 1596, establishing the KIG as a municipality of Palawan. The decree defined 53 islands, reefs and shoals as Philippine territory, based on historical discovery and effective occupation. Pag-asa became the seat of government, transforming it from a military garrison to the political and civilian heart of the Spratlys. Residents vote in elections, receive a government budget, and have local officials, hallmarks of a functioning state. This civilian dimension sets the Philippine claim apart from neighbors, whose outposts are often just military bunkers. However, China, Vietnam, and Taiwan reject the KIG, viewing it as a unilateral act. The KIG's boundaries overlap with other claims, making the Spratlys a web of competing sovereignties. The story of the KIG is one of using law and civil administration to solidify a foothold in a contested sea. Pag-asa stands as a symbol of enduring national will. Here, law and daily life intertwine on the frontier. The Kalayaan Island Group is part of the chaotic Spratly Islands archipelago, over 100 small islands, cays and reefs, 6 parties, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia and Brunei, lay claim to all or part of the Spratlys. The Philippines occupies 9 features, with Pag-asa the most significant. The BRP Sierra Madre, grounded on a Yungan shoal, is a symbol of Philippine defiance, often harassed by Chinese vessels. Vietnam occupies the most features. Malaysia and Taiwan maintain fortified outposts. And Brunei asserts rights over Louisa Reef. The close proximity of rival garrisons means miscalculation could easily escalate into conflict. The Spratlys are a microcosm of Southeast Asia's power dynamics, where national pride, economic interests, and military strategy collide. In this crowded neighborhood, every move is scrutinized, and the stakes are high. The Spratlys' landscape changed dramatically in the mid-2010s as China launched a massive island-building campaign. Using dredgers, China created over 3,200 acres of new land, transforming submerged reefs into sprawling military bases. These artificial islands now host airstrips, deep-water ports, radar domes, and missile systems, unsinkable aircraft carriers in the heart of the South China Sea. Vietnam has also expanded its outposts, though on a much smaller scale, building defensive structures in response to China's expansion. The Philippines and Malaysia have made minor upgrades, but their efforts pale in comparison. Constant harassment from Chinese vessels hampers Philippine projects on Pag-asa. The result? China now dominates the Spratlys, shifting the regional balance of power. The stakes for control have never been higher. China's artificial islands were just the beginning. Militarization quickly followed. The China Coast Guard, now a heavily armed paramilitary force, enforces Beijing's claims with aggressive tactics, water cannons, shadowing, and blockades. Behind them, the People's Armed Forces Maritime Militia, ostensibly fishing boats, swarm contested features, intimidating rivals. The People's Liberation Army Navy forms the third layer, patrolling with warships and conducting large-scale exercises. These bases allow China to project power far from its mainland, monitoring and potentially interdicting all regional traffic. Southeast Asian claimants are outmatched, forced to rely on diplomacy and alliances. Every Philippine patrol or resupply mission is a high-stakes operation under constant threat. The South China Sea has become a powder keg, with the balance of power tilting ever further toward Beijing. For the Philippines, survival depends on resilience and international support. The struggle is daily, and the risks are real. For the Philippines, Pag-asa Island is both strategic outpost and symbol of national pride. Militarily, it's a forward base and surveillance hub, allowing Manila to monitor Chinese activity. The island's airstrip, though basic, is a vital lifeline for troops and supplies. Losing Pag-asa would mean ceding the Spratlys and exposing the Philippine coast. The civilian community, families, a school, a local government, strengthens Manila's legal claim. These pioneers embody the Philippine presence, making sovereignty a lived reality. Upgrades to facilities and plans for tourism reinforce the nation's hold. Pag-asa stands as a beacon of hope and resilience in contested waters. International law is a key tool for the Philippines. In 2013, Manila brought China to arbitration under UNCLOS, challenging the 9-dash line and seeking clarity on maritime rights. The 2016 Hague ruling favored the Philippines, declaring China's claims legally baseless and upholding Manila's rights within its EEZ. China rejected the ruling, continuing its military buildup and ignoring legal constraints. The Philippines has the law, but China has the power, leaving a gap between legal right and reality. Manila is pushing for a Maritime Zones Act to codify its rights and strengthen its position. The struggle is now as much about law and diplomacy as it is about presence on the water. The legal fight continues, even as the standoff endures. Since the 2016 ruling, tensions have only escalated. China's gray zone tactics, swarming, blockades, and harassment have become routine around Pag-asa and Ayungin Shoal. Incidents include lasers, water cannons, and dangerous maneuvers, all designed to test Philippine resolve. Manila has responded with greater transparency, embedding journalists and publicizing Chinese aggression. The Philippines is modernizing its military, acquiring new ships and defense systems. The U.S. has reaffirmed its defense commitments, conducting joint exercises and freedom of navigation patrols. This alliance has shifted the dynamic, pushing back against Chinese pressure. Philippine resolve backed by U.S. support has raised the stakes for any potential aggression. The struggle is now public and the world is watching. The contest for the South China Sea is far from over. The future of Pag-asa and the South China Sea remains uncertain. China's power dwarfs its neighbors, making every incident a potential flashpoint. The Philippines must invest in defense and strengthen its civilian presence on Pag-asa. Diplomacy is critical, working with ASEAN, the U.S., and other partners to uphold a rules-based order. The struggle is a marathon, requiring patience, determination, and a multifaceted strategy. The goal: a peaceful, lawful South China Sea where all nations' rights are respected. The flag over Pag-asa is a lonely but resolute beacon. Here hope endures, guarding the future in a troubled sea.